Sometimes you eat shit and it makes the cut. But sometimes you eat shit and it doesn't. That's showbiz.
Can I have a cup of coffee, please? Can you send in the next act?
No, it's me.
Who are you?
Dougy the Ducky?
Not sure I know.
Sergeant, soil yourself.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, laugh it up.
Yeah.
I took to acting like a duck to water. Literally. Except my water was Mucky the Monkey bath water. And I was his rubber duck, obviously. Bloody typecasting. Well, you can imagine it, can't you? He'd fart under the water and then bubbles would come up. But then the bath water would turn brown and he'd say he'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops. You know, very highbrow stuff. Who the fuck is Dougy the Ducky?
Sergeant, soil yourself.
Oh! Sergeant, soil yourself? Of course, everybody knows him. Firstly, they said the camera wasn't on. Then it was a problem with the lighting, you know. Each time it was a different problem. And each time I'd have to completely clean off because I had to be fresh for each take. And ultimately, they said it wasn't going to make the show. We just felt, in the end, that he wasn't splashing passionately enough, you know. Well, you try splashing about enthusiastically and shit 4 or 5 times in one afternoon. You know, sometimes you eat shit and it makes the cut. But sometimes you eat shit and it doesn't. That's showbiz. You know, people say it's like water off a duck's back. Yeah, that's the easy part. Water. But when that water's got bits of shit in it and they're all stuck to your feathers, then it's a problem.
It was no surprise that after a period of being kept off the bill, that he went fuck mental with some nunchucks.
I just lost it. There's only so much you can push me. I've been splashed. I've been dunked. But don't push me. And I wasn't going to be a sitting duck against these TV bigwigs. So I brought my nunchucks in. That's what anyone would do after the way I were treated.
Yeah, I don't know where he got the nunchucks from. I don't know how he was using them without his opposable thumbs, but maybe, you know, if he was able to use nunchucks without opposable thumbs, perhaps he should have opposed some of the segments that they put him in, because they really were almost as depraved and disgusting as he was in his later years.
All I remember was a heavy blow to the back of my head and then a 3-month time skip. And the next thing I knew, I was filming a scene with Mucky the Monkey and I had shit all over my hands. I mean, what the hell happened? Keeping the acts in cages was completely necessary after that, yeah.
Perhaps that's ironic, knowing what I do of Andy, because if I were to put any one person in a cage or any one act, well, first it would be Dougy. Secondly, Andy would be a very close contender.
Listen, for me, it was an absolute godsend. I mean, it was a place to sleep. But poor Anthony the Aardvark. I mean, he was only on a school trip. But, you know, safety first. Get in the cage. And did Dougy work again?
I think that he did work, but it was the kind of work that happens in a prison canteen.
I did rather well in prison, actually. Once they found out I was a children's television presenter. I used to perform for the inmates for extra bread crust. I were well fed there.
He was kept very tightly guarded because they thought he was a flight risk. Of course, he couldn't fly, unfortunately.
Do you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. I'd have to be a mug not to put that mug on a mug. I've heard your poetry before. It's quite good. Why don't you perform some for us now?
Really?
Go on.
You're not going to cut it, are you?
Of course not, mate. I just want to give you a chance.
Okay, this one's called Tit for Tat, Quackity Quack. There won't be no...
Coming up next week on Cow Creations, it's Milk Splat Memoirs with the Art Man.